For the first time this season, we saw the USC offense operate as one cohesive unit. It is a shame that it came in the last game of the year in the Holiday Bowl, but what we saw gave me a ton of optimism going forward. What we saw is what a Lincoln Riley offense is supposed to be. As phenomenal and generational talent as Caleb Williams is, as much as there will never ever be another Caleb Williams, never be another 13, I actually do think this offense as a whole will operate more smoothly with Miller Moss in 2024. So in today's video, I'll explain why I think that to be true, what worked in the Holiday Bowl, and what other pieces need to be added to this offense heading into next year. Let's go. What's up guys, my name is Gabe and welcome into the Trojan Blade. We just hit 7,000 subscribers here on the channel. I want to say thank you all so much for a wonderful 2023. My goal at the beginning of the year was 5,000, so we smashed that goal. I am looking forward to a huge 2024 with you all. There's so much change ahead of us, new conference, new opponents, new quarterback, new defense. But the one constant is us, the fans. We're not going anywhere. And let me just say, if you're a regular viewer on this channel, then you're not a casual. We are diehards over here. I cannot wait to show the Big Ten fan bases how passionate we truly are. So once again, thank you so much. If you're new here, please do like and subscribe, and let's get into this. Okay, so heading into the Holiday Bowl, I was very skeptical about Miller Moss. We simply hadn't seen him. One big issue with Lincoln Riley not allowing anyone to view practice is that we have no idea how these guys look. So all we've seen from Miller was a few highly unimpressive cameos against the likes of Stanford and Colorado last season. So when he goes out there and does what he does, that changes things. I no longer want Will Howard. I no longer want anyone to be the USC quarterback in 2024 other than Miller Moss. He's clearly the guy. We saw how the team reacted to his success. That tells you everything you need to know. But why did it work? Why did the offense look as smooth as we've seen it? Why was it finally in rhythm? There's one very simple answer here. Miller ran the offense. He did what he was instructed to do. Now, before I go any further, if our skill guys were getting clamped up and the defense gave up 60 points, does a guy like Miller have the ability to single-handedly will the team into a win like Caleb could do? Probably not. I'm not saying Miller Moss is better than Caleb Williams. I'm not saying Miller Moss is more talented than Caleb Williams. But what I am saying is that the thing with the Lincoln Riley offense is that the majority of the time there's an answer. If you're trying to hit a deep post and the second read is a drag on the other side, we would see Caleb hold onto that ball and wait for the big play to develop. Miller, despite not starting a football game since 2019, still has that internal clock and knows when he has to get rid of it, which was honestly one of the most impressive things I've seen from a USC player in quite a long time. But like we talked about in that scenario, if the deep safety is on the post, Miller's going to throw that check down after 2 or 3 seconds, which is going to give our elite athletes a chance to pick up some massive yak yardage and keep moving the ball forward. The answers are always there. Lincoln Riley is a brilliant offensive play designer. When the easy stuff is there, Miller will take it. That's what this offense is designed to do, and we saw that in this game. It may not seem like a huge deal, but if you can get yourself into 2nd and 6 as opposed to 2nd and 10, that is huge throughout the course of a game. The call sheet gets opened up and expanded when you have less to gain to move the chains. It also allows you to run the ball more. Are you more likely to run the ball on a 3rd and 3 or a 3rd and 12? The point here is that the way Miller operates the offense, while not having the same big play upside as a Caleb Williams-led offense, but Miller just allows the offense to be much more efficient and just smoother overall. Now, you guys know I'm a former offensive lineman. If you polled 100 linemen asking them, would you rather block for Caleb or Miller? 99 out of 100 would say Miller, and I'm being generous there. As a lineman, I have so much going on in front of me. I'm worried about my assignment, blitzes, stunts, everything. The last thing I want to worry about is where my QB is going to be. With Caleb, you're blocking for 10 seconds sometimes. The longer you block, the more likely you are to grab some jersey and get a holding call. Think about it like this. You're looking forward, blocking your guy. It's been 8 seconds and Caleb is running around doing what Caleb does. You can't see Caleb though. You're looking forward. He's going left, he's going right. Meanwhile, the defensive lineman across from you is cutting all sorts of different directions trying to get to the quarterback. It's just exhausting. Over the course of a game, we saw our offensive line get worn down. That happens. These guys aren't soccer players. They don't have endless endurance. And of course, just the longer you're blocking, the more directions you're going, the more guys are running all over the place, the more likely you are to get a holding call. Miller, on the other hand, again, as an offensive lineman, he's going to get the ball out on time. He isn't going to be doing crazy stuff in the backfield. I know where he's going to be. I know where his drop is. I know when the ball is supposed to come out, and I trust him to get it to that check down if he can't get that first read out. It is so much easier to block for a guy like that. Another thing, did anyone notice that the deep ball wasn't really available this year? We hit a few, sure, but in general, it wasn't available. Why is that? Well, when you refuse to hit those underneath throws, when you don't check it down, why would the safeties come up? Why wouldn't they just sit in their cover 2 shell? In this game, we saw Miller killed them underneath. We have elite athletes, they're going to break tackles, they're going to get downfield, so the DBs are going to creep up, and that's exactly what happened. That's why Deuce was one-on-one in the fourth quarter. You don't have to force the vertical passing game. If you go underneath enough, it will open up for you. And again, with skilled players like ours, that formula could prove to be very, very fruitful. Now, in terms of the transfer portal, I do think a wideout needs to be added. With the loss of Taj Washington, I think a player with a similar profile needs to be added. Someone that can win outside or inside in the slot. Because guys, as high as the upside is for Zachariah Branch, he isn't close to being a complete receiver yet. I'm talking about route running, blocking, all the little things have to greatly improve before he can play in a Taj Washington kind of volume role. But Evan Stewart from Texas A&M is the guy that I think would be a massive get for this SC offense. Size, hands, route running, explosiveness, he's got all of it and then some. I honestly think that would be the perfect fit for this Lincoln Riley offense. It would give Miller a guy who's been there, done that, who's proved he can do it at this level. That security blanket of Taj Washington was one of the most valuable pieces on this entire offense last year. It's going to be very difficult to replace a guy that was that productive, that prolific, but you don't have to fully replace him. If you could just spread that production out over 2 or 3 guys and have a guy like Evan Stewart that could be a number 1 for us, I think that this receiver room would be looking very, very healthy heading into 2024. And of course, with the unfortunate injury to Late McCree, I do think a tight end needs to be added. I thought one should be added anyway. Benjamin Urasek from Stanford is my clear-cut number 1 choice. That guy's an elite blocker, great hands, great route runner, and he can also break some tackles. So he would be the guy for me, even if Lake was healthy next year, but that's even a bigger priority now because the injury did sound to be pretty serious with Lake. All right, guys, so those are my thoughts on this new Miller Moss offense. Of course, I would love to hear from you guys down below. Please leave me your thoughts on Miller, the offensive line, anything you want to talk about, please leave it down below in the comment section. And if you did happen to enjoy this video, please do leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you guys so much for all your constant support. You're all awesome, and as always, take care and fight on.